Hello everybody, welcome back here to Clubber TV. We're here on pitch level here in Parky Ring. Victory there by 9 points for St Finbarr's against Bright Rovers this evening. Gets them back on track there with their championship endeavours here in Group 3. Delighted to be joined here by William Buckley and Damien Cahalane. We're just going to chat here with William first, our Clubber man of the match. William, excellent victory. You were made to fight for it, and I don't think you expected it to go any other way, really.
No, look, we know how good Bright are. Like, in fairness, they won their opening game there against Newstown, and they were very good. You know, we saw what they can do, and there wasn't even a puck of a ball in it there with 10 or 15 minutes to go, and thankfully Ben there stuck a ball in the net to kind of give us a bit of daylight. So yeah, it was great to get to win in the end. Yeah,
it felt like there was a real strong pace to the game in the first half, but you really set the tempo. I think you were probably, of the 4 teams we saw this evening, you probably had the best kind of interplay. Your link-up play from defence into attack looked very, very sharp, and it really gave yourself, and I know Jack was there in the first half as well, yourself and Jack really gave you early chances to take on that defence.
Yeah, it did, I suppose. Look, when the 3 of us were inside there, and we just knew it kind of works in waves. If they're dropping back, the lads can pick scores from around the middle of the field, and we sucked them out and we got a few balls in, so it kind of worked in kind of waves like that. And they just wouldn't go away. In fairness, Bright, every time we got a score they came back, and like the 2 of us, it was a knockout game really for both of us. So yeah, just delighted to get the win really.
Yeah, you kind of had to plot your way through the second half. It probably felt like maybe I know obviously with the lead that you had, the game probably went a little bit flat, but like that's championship, you just have to kind of navigate your way through these games, and the third goal probably sealed it for you.
Yeah, like Bright, in fairness, they got a perfect patch there between like probably the 40th and 40th, about 50th minute there. Like there was 10 minute spell where we just couldn't get a hands on ball, and I suppose every team gets a purple patch, and thankfully to the backs there they really got on top and they were able to give us a great ball, and Ben then again with the goal to kind of put daylight between us, so it was great. Yeah,
after opening round losses now in hurling and football, your back-to-back wins now in hurling and football, it probably gives you really nice momentum. More than anything, it doesn't guarantee anything, but it really gives you momentum going into the last those 2 round 3 games.
Yeah, it gives us we still know we need to win the next 2 games between hurling and football, but it's great now. We have 2 weeks of preparation of hurling before the Newstown game, and then we obviously have the week later we have the final round of football. So look, it's great to have 2 weeks together of hurling and hopefully get another win the next day and get through to knockout stages.
Brilliant. Thanks a million, William.
Thanks very
I'll
much.
let you drive on there. Damo, thanks for holding tough with us. A challenging win. I know 9 points probably on the surface of it sounded like it was comfortable. It didn't feel like that, although it's probably the best I've seen you play this year, and we were even chatting about it. Just you've so many different components coming together from hurling, football. The bars kind of give so many to Cork. It's very difficult to kind of gel and get rock and rolling from round 1, isn't it?
Yeah, I suppose on the first point, 9 points probably wasn't reflective of how challenging a game it was, to be honest. We got the goals, and goals, they say the old phrase, like, goals win games, and it gave us that daylight. 3 goals we got, won by 9 points. That's your 9 point difference there. They were so important for us. But I think, look, to the other point then, I suppose we've so many components of trying to gel fellas together coming back from Cork, and then you've the dual element as well. It's just trying to get fellas together and get work done and build a cohesion can be hard at times. But I suppose the first game was always going to be challenging. I think you can see, I suppose, over the couple of weeks being able to get a couple of sessions done and get a bit of clarity on what we were about and get used to playing kind of with your teammates again, and playing for one another was huge. I thought the appetite and the energy and the hunger out of fellas there today was massive, but we needed it. It was knockout hurling.
Yeah, it was, and it felt like that in the first half. There was a real atmosphere there where people realised this is really, it almost is as close to a knockout game as you could get. As I mentioned there to William, like in the second half, you kind of had to plot your way through it. I could hear you above there, you were kind of shouting to your teammates, no hero stuff. I think what you were getting at was simplicity. Get back to doing the simple things well. And maybe just for that third quarter, you maybe just lacked a bit of cohesion, but in that last quarter, you started doing the simple things well. The offloads, the passing, the kind of selfless play, that clicked again. And you can see when you go into that gear, you're a hard team to stick with.
Yeah, I think, look, that's a huge part of when we're at our best, is playing as a team, getting the best out of one another, and it might mean some fella getting 10 points on a scoreboard one day and not getting his name on the scoreboard at all the next day, but doing the selfless work and making the right decisions. I think getting that bit of time together, getting a few games played together, you will see that cohesion build. And I think, to be fair to lads, there was probably a bit of a lead that we had, and fellas tend to, at that stage, right, what can I do? How can I further my position in the team? How can I kind of cement my place for the next day? But it can never be like that for us, I suppose. It has to be about bringing the best out of one another, putting your best foot forward and getting through to the next round, because I suppose you go back to the individualistic stuff and it can be, you can find yourself in a fairly dangerous position like we did until Ben probably got that goal there.
Yeah, it really felt like you'd kind of knocked the stuffing out of what was a very stiff challenge from Bright Rovers. Over the next 2-3 weeks now, you're in it, yourself and your brothers are always in an exceptional position, because you've got the Haven as well. You're playing Knock in 3 weeks, I think I'm right, and then obviously in 2 weeks' time you've Newcestown. I know obviously they suffered defeat today. We were only saying it above. Newcestown still have a huge part to play in this championship, because they know they don't want to end up on 0 points either. So it still feels like, Bright Rovers have to go to Middleton and get a result. Huge amount still to play for in this group alone. The championships are so cutthroat.
Definitely, and we're absolutely under no illusions of the challenge that Newcestown present. They've beaten us before in championship, I know, a good number of years ago, but they have beaten us before in championship. They're never short of taking on a challenge, never short of confidence, never short of backing themselves and stepping forward into a challenge. So we know that we're going to need to be really, really on it the next day. We've 2 weeks to put in a massive bank of work, build that cohesion again. As I said, it's nice to get a bit of a break and probably be able to spend a bit of time together this evening, which will build that bit of unity as well within the group. And fair play to our juniors as well. Yesterday had a massive win, so there's going to be real competition for places going forward. So we know the challenge that's ahead of us, but we're looking forward to it.
Demo, thanks a million for your time, and best of luck with the rest of the championship and everything. We'll leave you go again. Thanks a million there to William and to Damien there for giving their time. 9-point victory for St. Finbarr's. You'd have to say, as Damien mentioned, I probably would agree with him. In spite of the scoreline, it probably wasn't quite as emphatic as that. There were circumstances. I think the loss of Adam Walsh for Bright Rovers was huge there. He's such a pivotal fulcrum for there at full forward and a real scoring threat. And at any level, when you lose a scoring forward and a free taker, it was going to play its part. But you have to credit Bright Rovers. I think Liam Barry and Steve Glasgow, they will have an awful lot to work with. I know they'll be disappointed to have lost their second game, but they're still on 2 points. They still have an opportunity to play knockout hurling at Premier Senior, and they'd have bitten your hand off for that at the start of the year, so they could bounce back from this against Middleton in 2 weeks' time. No second, I'm sure we certainly will see with that. For St. Finbarr's, they'll feel like they're back on the horse there. An awful lot of positives today. I know Jack Cahalane went off with an injury and Brian Hayes went off at half time. Not sure if that was injury related or not, but they'll certainly want to keep both of those players, because in that first half they played some exceptional hurling. They were very, very sharp. They created goal chances. They are going to be a team that you still feel, even though they've lost their opening round game, you still feel they're going to be going deep into this championship and will have a big say before the end of this championship, certainly at Premier Senior level. Thanks a million for watching with us this afternoon here in Páirc Uí Rinn. Thanks a million to Ken, who was joining me for the first time this afternoon. I thought he was outstanding, and thank him for his valuable insight there as well. Thanks to Willie on camera as well above, and certainly thanks to yourselves at home for watching. That's all from here in Páirc Uí Rinn. We'll see you again soon for the next rounds in a couple of weeks' time from the Premier Senior Hurling Championship. Idir na Cháling, Tuarára.